There we go.
All right. Deb?
Yay! How are ya?
I'm good. Welcome, everybody. This is the Friday Grief Chat. I'm Jill.
I'm
Wait,
Deb.
wrong way. There's Deb.
Okay.
It's
Either way.
opposites. Yes.
You're a therapist. I'm a counselor. I don't know stage right or left, except if remember Snagglepuss used to say,
Unless the hook is coming for me, then I'm going to go the opposite direction.
That's right. That's right. Oh my gosh. How's your week been, Jill?
It has been a week. It really has. And it's, next week is I'm taking 3 days off, but that means Monday and Tuesday are
jam-packed.
Yeah. So it's getting, as the virus is getting bigger, the need is getting greater, and I'm happy to absorb it, but it's a lot.
Yeah. Here in Illinois, lockdown is happening more and more and more. And I call her my non-bio daughter, and she has the grandkids. And she goes, what, as lockdown happens, what would you like? And in order to see the kids more. And I said, we didn't do this before, but I miss just seeing them. Could we do, Facebook Messenger? Can we do Duo? There's all sorts of platforms. There's WhatsApp, Duo. Mm-hmm. FaceTime only works with iPhones. So if you don't have an iPhone, you can't FaceTime. And just finding a way to connect and planning ahead to connect is so important now.
We have a Marco Polo set up for our family for, I think it's hit about 20 of us now for Thanksgiving Day.
Wow. What's Marco Polo?
Marco Polo is a program you can download. It's free. And it lets you record a video message, and then people can respond to it and send their own back. And you can create groups on it. Individual. We're doing a Zoom call for everybody, but we're doing Marco Polos between us because texting is too hard and it doesn't give the inflection. In a Marco Polo, you can just chat. Yeah.
Oh, I just love that. I mean, it's not ideal. Nothing's ideal, right? Ideal would be, I think I'll take a trip. I think I told you this was the year I was planning on going to see the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade.
Yep.
Yeah, that ain't happening.
Yeah.
So,
no Rose Parade either.
No.
I'm sorry you're missing New York. That's lousy.
You know what? Next year, I'll be 65, Medicare induced. Yes.
That'll be the time to go.
That'll be the time to go. And
I just reserved my hotel for Hawaii for July. I'm hoping it happens.
Yeah.
Speaking at a conference there, and I'm just going to put it all in that we're going. Can you tell?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're wearing that. I'm sort of dressed pretty brightly today, too.
You are.
I know.
We need some cheerful.
I'm cheerful. Who knows why? We can say it's the meds. We can say it's the coffee.
It's Friday.
Yeah. Today is Friday. I was thinking about this from last week to this week because we talked about preparing ahead. But something I was reading in some of the grief chat rooms, that people who are normally feeling down, not because of the season or the darkness, but because of loss, people seem to be saying, I feel it more. And there's a very good reason for that. Mm-hmm. So if you don't mind expounding on that and the reason for feeling the grief and loss more this season, if you don't mind talking about that.
If it were just any other normal season minus COVID, just hitting the first or the second, because people tend to think after that first holiday they've gotten through, okay, the rest are going to be good. And they don't think ahead and prepare. And that second one hits them like slamming into concrete at 100 miles an hour. Yeah, it just drives. So you are missing who's not there. You are missing the dynamic because, in systems theory, we know the minute you take one person out of a system, everything changes. Mm-hmm. You are feeling the impact of who didn't cope well with the loss and therefore might not show up or might not be part of even a Zoom call because they're not feeling like someone's doing whatever right. I've got people I'm working with who are saying I invited people to Zoom calls and they don't like how I'm grieving, so they won't come. Okay, then we'll find the people who do like how you're grieving and we'll invite them. There's a lot of adapting that goes on in grief, a lot of just surfing all the different changes. But if you don't plan for them, you're going to drown. And then COVID has just made that so much worse, especially for people who are alone. They typically live alone, or they lived alone with a parent who's died of COVID or just died anyway. And they can't be together with the rest of their siblings or their family because it's not possible. It's not safe. Mm-hmm. Right. And we normally can be outside at Thanksgiving in Southern California. It's going to be in the 60s and it's going to be cloudy. And for us, that's like a polar winter. You got to understand.
Okay. I won't laugh.
We do. We totally do.
I know. Yeah. Another friend just wrote that same thing. For the rest of you people in Oregon, if it's 60 or below, they're like, should I wear a long sleeve shirt? And she goes, I need a winter coat and something warm.
I had my heavy leather jacket on last night because it was, I think, 59. And I had a beanie on because my hair is short because, I live in the desert. We have cactus in our yard, that would shrivel up and die in Illinois.
Uh-huh.
But, yeah, we have all those, and we have lizards who are still out running around this time of year. So you do have to be ready, and you have to plan ahead, and you have to acknowledge, because if you don't acknowledge who's missing, then everyone is, it's that big old elephant in the room, right? And you walk around it, and it makes it feel pressured and harder. And if someone makes a dish that person who's missing loved, no one will say, oh, they would have loved this. My encouragement is make the dish they loved. And if it's one all the rest of you hate, now you can say it. And if it's one the rest of you love, but you made it differently, you can talk about them with some humor. Because if you don't, it's going to just make it so much harder. And if you need to cry, cry. It's okay. It really is.
That's for, I want to participate, but I don't want to participate. And if I edge toward participation, how you gave some great examples on how to do that. Then there's the other side. And I was the other side. After my mom died, I already was uncomfortable going to family meals because people didn't talk about stuff. They already didn't. So I gave myself permission to not show up.
And that is okay.
That is perfectly okay to say, no, I just need to pull in and be quiet. I got to tell you, this is another holiday, but it was Easter. And my mom had just died 4 weeks before that. And I said to myself, I don't want to go to church. I don't want to hear about Jesus dying on the cross. I don't want to hear about any of this. So what I did is I said to my husband, you go to whatever, save me some ham if there's any. And I watched Monty Python's Life of Brian. Mostly because I wanted to be so distracted by the absurd. And lastly, because at the end, very sacrilegious, is Jesus with the two other people on the crosses going, always look on the bright side of life, and that is totally ridiculous. And if that's what helps you, meaning our listening audience, to not go put on a sappy Christmas movie or put on, what is it with Bruce Willis, Die Hard 1 and 2, which are both Christmas movies, put those on.
Or the Twilight Zone marathon.
I had no idea.
It's perfect for this year.
It's perfect. Oh my gosh. So, but for those that feel so down, give yourself also permission to, it's more than feeling sorry for yourself. It's not really like a pity party, because you have every reason to feel the feels, be it the first year or the second year, third year, fourth year, whatever it is, give yourself permission to feel. And that's a hard thing, because you think I have to buck up, and because that's what we do in this Western culture. And that's what people like Jill and I are helping to change and hoping to change. So
and also, if you've got little people, getting feedback, I want to bring the microphone in. If you've got little people and there has been a recent loss and it's a holiday, encourage the conversation. Ask them what they're missing about whoever is missing. Ask them if they have questions about what happened or where they are now. Encourage it, because little people have seen the big people grieving, and it's right close to the holiday anyway, and they don't want to ruin the holiday or be blamed for it. So they are going to just buck it down, and we need to give them that space to ask the questions and talk about it, and prepare the other adults before we do so they don't shut them down.
Absolutely. And I want to add to that we're not just talking about grief from the death of a loved one. We're talking about, what if it's your first divorce apart?
But if you just moved cross country.
Yeah.
And now it's COVID and you don't know your neighbors.
Exactly. There's tons of other loss. What if it's, you're a healthcare worker and you are required to be working, and your family's scared and they've heard, and to assume that little kids don't know. Everybody in the listening audience, they know.
They know completely.
They know at some level in their heart. Yeah.
And they know you're afraid.
Right.
And they need to have that honored and to be talked about. And they need some fun. Even if you have, I'm hoping everyone in our listening audience is preparing for a really safe Thanksgiving. Here in California, we're under a statewide curfew. Thou shalt not be out after 10 p.m. now, which is fine with me. But we got a lot of people who are not going to follow the rules. I hope that all of you are. Right. But if you are following the rules and it's small, find some ways to do something different. Make it a puzzle day. You still have time in this Friday to send out a picture and get a family puzzle made for Thanksgiving. Oh, what a great thing. Or order a painting kit and everyone paints together after the meal, or something to keep you together that's not focused on who died and not focused on who's missing, because we can't have Thanksgiving normally. I've talked to people who are doing absolutely no main dish this year because nobody actually really likes it, but they always did it for the other people. So this year they're just doing sides or desserts. Some people are doing soup meals this year because they don't gotta. And if we were pilgrims, honestly, we'd be eating lobster. And I think that sounds way more fun than turkey.
Really? Is that what
they were on the coast.
Oh, yeah. So maybe
they were fish.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Well, just also, who had cranberry gel in the can back in turkey time, in pilgrim time,
They didn't have cranberries.
No, it's not, whatever,
Right.
You know what we're doing this year is I've been calling people up and saying, because I'm not going to make a big veggie tray. Although my non-bio daughter said, I'm going to miss the creations, because I would always make something fun. I'd make a turkey out of the veggies, or I'd make I don't know. I don't remember everything, but I just get creative with it, right? So this year, as the other non-bio daughter said, oh, I'll take whatever crock pot meat you're making. So crock pot meat could be Italian, it could be pork, it could be barbecue, who knows? So I'm making packages. Daryl just went shopping, my husband, to go get things so that he can make the desserts. That's his thing. I make the other parts, and I'll get them each French bread and a container of crock-pot meat and mac and cheese, because Daryl's mom made it a certain way and his kids like it a certain way. And then the grandkids, So doing that and making up packages for people, because really it's not the family get together, although that's always nice. I like cooking. I like the smell of it. It's better than scented candles.
I like the leftovers.
Oh my gosh, yes. Mm-hmm. I'm waiting till after Thanksgiving to have to buy even a cheaper turkey.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm waiting for that. And it'll be what it'll be. I'll just hunker down on Thanksgiving Day. Maybe we thought about getting some carry out to support a local business and eating that on Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to stop at our local cookie store and get cookies.
Yeah.
Away, because I'd rather it come from there than a big box store.
Yeah.
So we're doing those kinds of things, and
right,
giving back to the community where we can, and we're providing a couple meals for people who can't afford Thanksgiving or are going to be alone. So I'm going to make sure those get delivered out.
Yes. Yeah.
It's nice to do the reach out when you're in a position to do that. And if you're in a position where you need a reach out, please tell someone. There are lots of people looking to do something nice because they're
right,
kind of helpless right now. So if you're one of those people who needs that turkey delivered, say it out loud. Somebody will show up.
Right. Say, who can? Facebook.
Right.
Or each community, like we have Champaign-Urbana Facebook community. Put something on there. And then I always recommend, please don't put your phone number and address on that. Just
message
me. You can message without being friends. Just send it.
Your neighborhood is good for that too.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And who won't have leftovers? And it's hard cooking for one, which is another reason why people are grieving. Like you said before, people who do not have a partner, do not have someone in their immediate bubble that's also single, people who are single. Yeah, that's hard. And you know what else is hard? And because this has happened to some friends, the rest of the family guilts you into coming, and you still don't trust them.
Right. And you know better than to trust them.
Right. And yet you're going, and it's like Russian roulette.
Yeah.
I know.
We are making sure that we are not, the non-trustworthies are not part of our world this
time.
Right. Because it's heating up too much. Or people who, are trustworthy, but they have to go to a job that they have to be in public.
Right.
High risk public. Those folks really shouldn't be hosting And there's also a certain number of the population that really doesn't like big gatherings.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels to me like some of them are almost being forced into grieving the loss of Thanksgiving and or Christmas or Hanukkah or whatever. And they never really enjoyed it in the first place. They
Bingo.
would rather have been home with, a chicken pot pie they heated up and a good movie and their booties.
Mm-hmm.
Let's give those
Exactly.
people the grace and not tell them they need to feel bad that they're alone. They could be
Right.
happy they're alone and they're not dealing with, the family member who always has to argue or the politics or the alcohol.
Exactly. It's interesting. You and I right now are like, because we're witness to those in our practice, all these subtleties of humankind, the assumptions we make that so and so is grieving, or the assumptions we make, they're okay. And check your assumptions.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I go, do you like being alone or do you want to come out?
Right.
Those are the things that you say. Do you like this or that? Don't be afraid to ask questions.
Yeah.
In one of my talks, I'm just going to veer off for a second, but in one of my talks, I go, don't be afraid to ask questions from your healthcare practitioners, from your spouse, from your mother-in-law. And, in case you're going on a blind date for Thanksgiving, you should ask if they're an axe murderer. I mean, you need to ask these things, right? Never be afraid to ask questions. So ask what would you like?
And if you have a neighbor who is alone,
Mm-hmm.
make sure you're trying to reach out a little bit. Leave a note on the door like we did at the beginning of the pandemic.
Yeah.
Leaving those little notes saying, if you need anything, here's my number. Leave me a message. I'll take care of it for you. If someone is going to be alone, especially for the first time, say, you know what, we're going to be cooking. We're going to be careful. Would you like me to drop off a meal for you so that, we're thinking about you? Or do you want to meet on the street at 4 o'clock and for a distance toast? Include those folks because they may like being alone or they may not. Don't force them into it. Give them the option.
Another place to check in are long-term care centers. If it's nice weather, at least around here or by you, if you can, go to that window and wait high. If not, make a phone call. Mm-hmm. And I suppose you could even make a call to the office and say, would any of your residents just like a phone call from someone they never met? And, someone that's cheerful. So, yeah, Debbie Downers, don't call. Don't just watch a movie, have a baked potato, leave everybody else alone.
And if you're going to have a full table or if you've got little people at home and you're going to be alone with them and you've been alone with them all week and you've really had enough and now you're supposed to do Thanksgiving, give them some paper and pens and some glitter glue because everyone loves glitter glue. And have them make cards for the holiday period that you can safely drop off in a box outside one of those care facilities.
Exactly.
Not interact, just leave them at the door and tell the facility that they're out there to be distributed.
And if the only thing you put on there, don't worry about the holidays, but if you write, I love you, or thinking of you, or happy smiles, happy winter, they all love them. They do. They love that stuff.
It reduces the isolation for them.
It does. It does. Just for a moment. And what I learned in humor and laughter is through humor, laughter, when you see it, hear it, or feel it, it stops your train of thought for just a moment so that you can engage in another way. Will it work? Not 100% of the time, but it is certainly worth trying just for a moment. Just for a moment. Oh man. I can't see any, but can you see if anybody wrote anything?
Doug just gave us a thumbs up when we were saying don't assume stuff about people.
Don't assume stuff. Thanks, Doug.
Doug may want to be home with his cat this week, or next week, because he is quite the cat dad, I gotta say.
Nice. I have a lot of respect for cat dads.
Yeah. And,
I do.
We'll be home with the doodles. I've got 2 of them on my lap right now.
Mm-hmm.
Because, they need their leftovers. They're going to eat more than I am. But they're leftovers. I'm hoping they don't turn off my computer because they both have their heads on the laptop base right now.
Oh.
Let me see.
Oh my goodness.
I've got 2 of them.
Funny. Yeah.
So next week we're going to be here anyway, right? So we can talk about
we are going to be here anyway. Will that work for you?
It will, because that will mean that my wife gets a break from me doing Christmas decorating early that morning, because I am ready. I have got the stuff. I've got new stuff. And, I've got a sister who's Jewish, but still loves Christmas, but doesn't like to admit it. But she loves my Christmas decor. So she said, I just sent you 2 crazy things to decorate with. And they're not quite Christmassy, but I just think you could use them. Blow up unicorns. Rainbow unicorns.
Oh, I'm totally jealous.
So I'm not sure. We can't anchor them. We're trying to figure out how to use them. I think I might put them in my angel garden I have right at the front door. And put some lights around them. Oh, and Doug is saying, this keeps us from the family from hell this time. Absolutely. I got to tell you, I identify with that. I do. Yeah.
There's certain benefits from.
There are some good things about pandemics. So there's a lot of bad things, and I'm not minimizing them, but we get a little bit of an excuse to be alone.
Right.
And you get the same chocolate box all to yourself. Although Doug wouldn't do that. I
might. Well, I will be having gluten-free. I love it. Gluten-free. Daryl makes the best pumpkin cheesecake. It's a recipe he's had forever. So I will be doing that and having, I'll make myself a lot of vegetables. So there you go.
We are doing, the mashed potatoes. And then my 89-year-old father-in-law said, we're having yams, right? Or sweet potatoes. Yeah. And he said, and the kind with the marshmallows. Okay. Yeah, we're having those. Because our bubble is him plus 1 daughter plus the 2 of us plus maybe my mom. She's not sure she even wants to come next door. So I may just deliver a meal to her.
Right.
So, and then I'll probably make something green. Maybe some Brussels sprouts, but maybe with bacon and balsamic.
That is exactly what my other non-bio daughter asked for. Roasted Brussels sprouts with bacon and then either balsamic or some Parmesan cheese and garlic.
And some some with roasted pecans. That may have
for those that can with nuts.
You're not a nut?
Nuts. I am yes, mentally maybe, but I'm allergic.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Well,
and I did just make a great bread pudding last night. So
I wish. It sounds so good with a little bourbon and rum, but don't quote me on that. Oh yeah, now I'm on Facebook Live telling people. Oh, Jill. Well, until next week.
After the feast and the quiet and the not many people, and Doug after the not family from hell for all of us.
Right.
With our little people and all our deliveries, let's go do what we can to do what we want to do. And remember those who are missing this holiday.
Remember those that are missing, but also remember self-care. Self-care, drink water, take a walk if you can, weather permitting. Look at the sunlight, look at nature. If you need to, take a shower. Don't forget your medication.
Yeah.
And be a little creative, whatever that means to you. All right.
Bye, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving week. We'll see you on
Happy
Friday
Thanksgiving
afterward.
week.
Bye.
Bye.